Okay, so I've had the opportunity to test out this new iPhone 15 Pro Max, and just straight off the bat, say like the biggest thing that I was so disappointed by was that it heats up. Just light usage makes it go hot. I don't know if it's the aluminium that is super conducive to the heat. I don't know what it is, but it heats up. It heats up really fast, and it's uncomfortable. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, it only happens when you're setting up the iPhone. Yeah, it only happens when you're doing high graphic intense tasks or playing big games. If you want to experience the real thing, use it without a case. Sabse pehle. If you use it with a case, you're not gonna feel the heat that it generates for no reason apparently. Like, I'm watching Instagram reels and I watch 7, 8, 9 minutes of reels and it's scorching hot. I know in the past, Apple has addressed the overheating concerns that some users experienced with the previous models. Their engineers have implemented some kind of cooling mechanisms, and they optimize the performance management stuff, and this thermal designing, this and that. There's so much mumbo jumbo that we hear coming from Apple about how they're trying to address this. But it's kind of disappointing to see that and experience it myself. I've heard other people say it. There's a lot of people on Twitter complaining about the same thing, that they're experiencing heat and lag issues with the phone, like during the light use. Like, there's no heavy usage and it's still lagging. Like, I'm typing and it's lagging. Why is that the case? It's a $1,500 phone and it's brand new, like it's day one. Why is it lagging when I'm texting on it? It makes no sense. Yeah, a lot of people might also say that these might be just individual experiences, not across all iPhones, which I hope is the case, because Apple really takes pride in how smooth and seamless their whole experience is, which has been the case for me since forever. The last phone I had before this was 11 Pro Max, and it lasted me pretty good while. Now, when I check Apple support for these problems where when I'm saying lags, and so this is the kind of response I get. As for typing lag, this is an area where users expect instantaneous response, right? We do expect an instantaneous response. I don't want to type something and have to wait for it to show up. And if there's no noticeable lag when typing, it could be related to software optimization or potential software bugs. Users can try troubleshooting steps like restarting the device, disabling unnecessary background processes, or resetting keyboard settings to default. Now, here's the deal. I could do those things, but that's not what I'm paying premium money for, to disable unnecessary background processes. No, I pay you so much money that I should be able to leave background processes running in the back. I shouldn't have to worry about all that. I'm at the risk of sounding like a elitist douchebag. I'm not an Android user. I shouldn't be worried about piche kya chal raha hai. It should just be working fine regardless of what's in the background or not. Given that it's not like 200 apps open in the background, then sure, I understand if it's overloaded. But if it's just regular usage apps, like 20, 30 apps, shouldn't be a problem for me to just type. There shouldn't be a lag. So that's Apple's lacking now, man. Their stock price also kind of reflects where the company's headed now. Overall, I don't see a good future for Apple, man. I'm not gonna lie. I've been an Apple user, an Apple fanboy, for lack of a better word, for the longest time, for a decade now. Pehla iPhone I bought it as soon as I could. I've been an Apple supporter, an Apple lover almost. I appreciate the service they provide, the product that they make. It has a lot of thought into it. They're not the first ones to come up with a lot of technology after the touchscreen and everything, but they perfect it and then they come to it. So they don't lack in that department. Anyway, so I was testing it out and I was checking it out. There's a lot of great things about the iPhone as well. Cameras are just amazing, man. The cameras are so superior. I have friends who have Android phones, Samsung phones, and their cameras are good. Not to say that they're not, but you always get this sense of something's lacking. There's always, maybe their processing isn't as good as Apple's processing is. I've seen a lot of reviews that talk about how Apple doesn't beat Android or Samsung or Pixel in hardware, but then Apple's software processing is just next level. So I think that kind of shows when you use the phone and when you shoot videos. It's just exceptional stuff. It has an upgraded sensor this time. It's 48 megapixel or something. Again, not to compare with Android phones, they're pretty much ahead. But then there's tests online where you can see 124 hertz screen of an Android and 60 hertz screen of an iPhone, and you can see what apps they're opening and closing them, and you can see the clear lag on Android phones while there's no lag, there's smooth. So numbers come to shits. What does a good big number mean if it doesn't give me that experience? It's a lie. The 5x telephoto zoom lens is pretty good.
It's like having a huge telephoto lens.
Photography में बहुत आला है, video making में it's pretty cool. Literally आप दूर के subjects come closer to you, and I've been a photographer in my previous life. I've had DSLRs and I've hung out with people who are professional photographers in Pakistan in the media industry. So I understand photography to a certain extent. Given my experience and my knowledge, I see that pictures are coming out the way you want them to come out. Photography se zyada the videography of the iPhone is pretty fascinating. It's like, for photography, I would still prefer a DSLR because there's so much more you can do with it and there's more control. With an iPhone, you can create art. I'm not saying you can't. It's just it seems too clunky and seems not up to the mark. Yeah, they have qualities levels are still comparable, but still. Now, another thing that I really liked was the cinematic mode. This is the first time I'm trying the cinematic mode. It's pretty sick, as you can see in the footage. Cinematic mode kind of makes everything look really good. I didn't expect the result to come out this good. Everything looks pretty sick. Even the action mode was very shocking to see, bro. Okay, action mode mein, if you just focus on whatever you want to focus, and it might seem like it's shaking, but when the processing kicks in, action mode makes everything super still, super non-shaky. I was very impressed by the action mode, man. That's superior processing power. That's where you see Apple's magic, right? You see, oh, this is what Apple is about. Yeah, besides the overheating concerns, and some people might say, oh, if there's a warning that there's no warning. It's not telling me that it's overheating. I can feel it in my hands that it's overheating. And I want that to be fixed. I want that to be solved because that's not cool. I don't plan on putting on a case on this phone because if I pay $1,500 for a phone, I want to feel it in my hands, man. That's been my rule since day one. Ever since iPhone 4, I have been using my phone without a case. And then I got back to cases when I came to US because I just didn't want to spend money on like repairing if I drop it. But I've made the call to buy Apple Care, and just if it breaks, then Apple Care has to take care of it. That's the good part about Apple, right? If you pay for Apple Care, they will take care of your device no matter what happens. I mean, I paid a lot of money for this, so I'm gonna show it off. I'm gonna feel good about myself when I have a premium phone in my hand. And you should too. If you buy a manga Samsung phone, don't put a fucking $15 case on it. Don't put a 300 rupees ka case on it. Use that thing. Feel the premium money that you paid for, and if it doesn't feel like that, then you fucked up. You should have bought a phone that feels premium in your hand for that much money. When I was taking this shot from the niche se upar ka pan for this flower, it kind of understood the assignment. It automatically understood what I was trying to do and kept moving the focus the way I wanted it to move without me having to poke on the screen. Oh, ye karo. Like, look, I go sideways and it follows my lead on that. So I was very impressed by that. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So I also tested in like low light conditions, like nighttime, mein kaisa hai, indoors, outdoors, and it was pretty sick. The results are pretty good, as you can see. Cameras are as good as they can be, I feel like. This is like we've reached the pinnacle. Like, look how fucking beautiful that is. Donuts going on a line and then getting glazed by sugar and then coming out on the other side. That's beautiful, man. This is every American's dream. Like, oh yeah. Oh, that hole's getting filled with cream. Ooh, the hole's getting filled with cream. But then there's some good pictures like this one where you can see details pretty well. Picture quality is pretty high. This is some DSLR level photo quality, man. Like, I can't deny, like, so it's pretty good stuff. So I did this experiment where I saw this video where if you zoom in, you can't really see how fast you're going. And when you zoom out, you realize what the difference is in speed. So you can see in this video, I start with a zoom out and 50 से 100 miles तक की speed जाएगी इसमें, and you'll see the difference it makes. The action mode, I think it's the action mode that makes the difference, or I don't know if it's just physics, I don't know. But so you can see when you're zoomed in, it feels like you're going slower than you actually are. I shouldn't be doing this while driving at those speeds. It looks significantly slower. Like, look at that. Nobody would be able to guess I'm going 100 miles right now. Okay, so 5x telephoto lens for the win. Photography mein, I think portrait photos are gonna come out just flattering and really nice and cool. So yeah, you're gonna like it. You're gonna love it. If you guys have bought this, or if you ever have another iPhone, let me know what you guys think about the overheating issues, the lagging issues, and then what are the good things. I would like to read all those comments and see how it turned out for you guys.